I Hate Politics is a podcast about a human activity we love to hate. I'm Sunil Dasgupta. Moms for Liberty has been described by the Southern Poverty Law Center as an extremist organization. Across the country, they have attacked public education and teachers. In the last several years, Fairfax County has seen pitched battles between those for and against the organization. And Moms for Liberty backed candidates have even run for school board in deep blue Montgomery County. In Carroll County, Maryland, a Moms for Liberty backed school board banned pride flags in June 2022. But a young Baltimore teacher, Alexa Shuto, decided the way to strike back was to use her comedy and video skills to capture the narrative and regain her power. In the interview with her, you will hear a second name quite a lot, Kit Hart. Kit Hart is the chair of the Moms for Liberty chapter in Carroll County, Maryland. Alexa Shuto describes her as the spirit that has clung to me and not let go. This is Shuto versus Hart and much more. Stay with us.
I Hate Politics is brought to you by UMBC's Political Science Program, where you'll learn to shape public policy, impact communities, and function at the center of modern society. Learn more at shadygrove.umbc.edu.
I Hate Politics is a podcast about our neighborhoods, workplaces, schools and streets, and our local governments as they function in diverse and democratic societies. This means our politics are messy, dirty, sometimes corrupt, with often self-serving politicians. But no matter how much we may hate politics, we are never exempt from it, even when we refuse to participate. In fact, the purpose of politics is to keep society moving precisely when we don't agree with each other, like now. Music for this episode comes from the Interstate but DMV heavy band Finster. Kate Johnson on vocals and guitar, Doogie Whitaker on guitars, Sky Darwin on bass, and Matt Zielenz on the drums. The songs are from their 1997 album, I Wish I Had a Camera.
But it never happened for him. And all of these lackluster days, there's a new brilliance, and I want to go back. And these lackluster days seem to shine brightly, and I want to go back.
Alexa Shuto, welcome to I Hate Politics.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me.
You have been having run-ins with Moms for Liberty in and around Baltimore, and you are a local TikTok star as a consequence.
Yeah, I guess if someone else diagnoses me as a star, I'll take it.
Okay, all right. So can we begin at the beginning?
So one day, I, a teacher, learned that pride flags had been banned in Carroll County public schools. And this pissed me off. Like, we live in Maryland. How is this happening in Maryland? And so I made a TikTok about it. That video got like 250,000 views. Someone on TikTok left some comment on something that was like, "Why are you indoctrinating children?" And so I made a response that was tongue-in-cheek. And it was like, "Oh yeah, here I am indoctrinating the children, and oops, I got fired for it, JK." And then I'm in the same classroom and I do a little dance and there's a pride flag there. I was on Libs of TikTok, and Newsmax picked me up. And in December of 2022, I was on Fox, and they said, "Baltimore teacher indoctrinates children using taxpayer money."
So they took political satire to be real and that resulted in your school district taking action against you. Is that correct?
They put me on administrative leave for 5 months. That means that for 5 months, I was not working and I was not reporting to any location. I was staying home and I was paid in full. In fact, I'm pretty sure over that 5 month span, I got a raise and 2 bonuses. One of them was a retention bonus. That's how I knew I wasn't getting fired.
We did an episode on Carroll County banning pride flags. Why did this bug you so much? I mean, it's happening everywhere. It's been happening for some time now.
I was teaching middle school, and then I ended up sponsoring an improv club, which attracted all of the gay kids in that middle school. It wasn't like officially a GSA. It was called the Unity Club at the school I was at. And that club handed out these little strings of pride flags. And so I was like, all right, if the school is giving me a string of pride flags, I'm gonna put one up. This is an okay thing to do now. But still, like, I could see how important it was to them to see themselves represented in my space. And so when I saw that what was so important to my students was taken away somewhere else, I wasn't okay with that.
Now, you are also a comedian.
Oh my God, these ding dongs, Moms for Liberty, they basically write my material. Like, I don't even have to be good. I can just exist and they'll feed me content. It's so much better than ChatGPT.
So you're just like mining this.
What I did get in trouble for on Halloween of 2022, I dressed as Emperor Cusco. Have you seen a Disney movie called The Emperor's New Groove?
I have not.
The main character, Cusco, the Emperor, he takes a drink of a little pink potion, and that potion turns him into a llama. But before he turns to a llama, he passes out. And then after he passes out, he turns into a llama. And I had a little bottle of pink glitter water, and I look like I take a drink of it. And then I go to pass out, but before my head hits the desk, I am replaced by the stuffed llama that I keep in my classroom as a Spanish teacher. The principal made an allegation that I made a video in my classroom in which I appear drunk. For that, I got a letter of reprimand.
You went back to school, but to a different school, and you taught there for a year. You didn't just put your head down and teach Spanish, did you?
At my new school, I was told by somebody who doesn't really have any actual authority, like not a principal or anything, but just kind of like, don't record in your classroom. I said, okay, Baltimore County, fine. I won't film it in the classroom. So I built a classroom set in the corner of my spare bedroom. And it's got like the bricks going down the wall. It's got like the linoleum floors. Like, I went really hard on this. I really hope nobody calls me on the fact that it has been Noviembre in my classroom year round. Because it's just stuck there.
What are the kinds of TikToks you're making at this point?
I do one, and it's like Moms for Liberty doing a classroom visit. It's just me in a blonde wig, and I just go around and I act like I think a Mom for Liberty would act. Like, it's meant to look like a Spanish teacher's classroom. So I've got a string of like different flags of Spanish-speaking countries. And so in character, I go, oh God, what genders are these flags for? And then a disembodied voice of reason. Those are flags of Spanish-speaking countries. And then as the Mom for Liberty, I go, oh my God, that's worse. I take a kid's lunch away and I tell them they put hormones in it to make them become a girl. I kind of made them a little racier because I was in my house. I can do costume changes and stuff. I have a freaking fire alarm in there that's fake.
What are the most popular sketches that you did?
My most viewed video was right before I was on Fox News, and it's me in my actual classroom. I pan the camera across the pride flags that I was talking about earlier, and I go, oh, this is a public school. And then I pick up the Maryland state flag. And I go, the LGBT community has gone too far. Whatever this flag represents, I don't want my child exposed to it. That has 1.4 million views.
Okay, you've had a battle royal with Carroll County Moms for Liberty group chair,
Yeah.
Kit Hart. Now, how did you tangle?
She is a spirit that has clung to me and not let go. I attempted to organize a protest against this event called the Parental Power Summit. So I go, and we're just attending the event. But then the MC of the night goes, all right, now's the part where anybody can come ask a question. And I said, ooh, anybody? Can I have the best question in the whole world? So I go up to the front, and this man handed me the microphone. So I'm holding this microphone, and I say,
Hold on, let's play that clip.
Hi, I'm Alexa. Maybe you saw me outside or on Fox News, or maybe I teach your kid. My question is very simple. What does woke mean? Yes, I am a TikToker. Okay. What does woke mean?
Woke is rooted in Marxism, and what it means is that society is based in pitting people against one another, in basically giving somebody labels. So, as I'm sure you know what it means, that it comes from a Marxist root, and what it does is it tries to inspire a revolution, and by creating a problem and telling people that they're either the oppressor or the oppressed, they're wrong or they're right for behaving or acting a certain way.
Then did you just make a TikTok out of that?
I hardly edited it. I captioned it.
And so when you did that, what were the consequences at school?
Kit Hart put something on Twitter, kind of belly aching about the hate she was getting. And so I quote tweeted it, and I said, "Officer, I swear I didn't mean to murder her."
So you're using a metaphor, but did they take that literally?
Well, yes, they presented it literally.
And then what happens?
Kathy Shalega, Ryan Naraki, Lauren Erikin, and Robin Grammer, delegates of state of Maryland.
All Republicans, right?
Yes, of course, all Republicans. Two of whom were there. Lauren Erikin was the one who asked me where I teach, and Kathy Shalega was there.
Did the school district put you on administrative leave again?
Yeah, well, let me say what they said in this letter. So in this letter, they said that I organized a protest against the Parental Power Summit, and they said that as a result of threats made against the venue, they had to get it was 5 or 6 Baltimore County cops to be there. This is my favorite line in the letter. She said she made a TikTok in which she encourages people to malign the Sheridan Hotel for hosting this event. And she makes this video in what appears to be her classroom, because it wasn't my classroom, it was my set. And they say that they demand I be fired from Baltimore County Public Schools. And then Baltimore County Public Schools said, well, we'll have her out by noon. Why didn't you say so sooner? They put me on administrative leave again for the last week of school. And so again now, I am paid 1 week to not work. And with all my TikTok money, I got a pedicure on the clock. I didn't have to pack up my classroom. I didn't have to do my grades. I got paid for it, though.
And this is school year of 2024. You continue your trolling of Moms for Liberty. You went to one of their events called March for Kids.
The March for Kids. I got there. I listened to all of the speakers, and then some speaker said, okay, now it's time to go march. So we all go outside and we stand on the steps and take pictures. Nobody goes anywhere. They didn't get a permit. There was no March for Kids.
You were wearing a t-shirt that said, "Come and take that."
Yeah, come and take it. And it had a picture of a book on it. It is a parody of the Texas version that has either a cannon or a gun on it.
And this woman from Texas calls you out on it. Let me play the clip.
And you know what? You're disrespecting Texas with that t-shirt.
Certainly are.
I don't say anything about Texas.
Come and take it as a slogan in Texas. You
don't even know what it
over
means.
a cannon.
I think I know what it means.
No, you
That
don't.
is from Texas.
It started in Texas.
That's where it's from, not what it means.
That was their slogan because they fought over a cannon. Do you know that?
Now I do.
Well, see, you're not so book smart after all, are you?
You got me. I'm not.
Maybe you should have read that book.
Maybe
Yeah.
I should have. Is it available?
See, a lot of people in Texas died, and you know what? Part of them were in alliance with Mexico, but they fought over a cannon. They stood up for something. And that t-shirt disrespects.
I mean,
everything they
I
stood
don't
up
think
for.
you want me to take it off. Like, that would be.
Oh no! Spare us! Maybe put something on top of it.
So I had a pride flag on me and I put the pride flag on top of it. And I thought it would fix it.
And this becomes a TikTok again. And how many views and likes does that have?
100,000 views. It's got like $120.
So every time you get into these fights, you make money.
I love this. So every time it has been Mom for Liberty chooses to engage with me, I turn it into content and I get paid. Like, imagine you hate somebody and every time you talk about it, they get $1,000. That is Kit Hart's reality right now. She can't say anything about me without me blowing it up and getting money for it. And that's so powerful.
Have you made a TikTok about that?
I also, I don't want to, invoke her directly either. Because, at some point, this is going to get hacky.
Are you afraid that if Moms for Liberty loses cachet, you're going to lose income?
Well, I mean, they haven't lost me any income yet. At the March for Kids that didn't happen, Kit Hart was there. I didn't know she was going to be there. And the only reason I realized she was there is we locked eyes for a second.
How did that feel?
This is the worst Disney movie I've ever had conceptualized. And I will not sing a duet with her.
I think you should do it on TikTok.
All right, she's gonna have to be the soprano though. I'm a strict alto. But no, we locked eyes a second, and I wasn't sure if it was her, and then I knew it was because she went to a group of 3 people, and she was like, "That's Alexa. There she is. She came to the thing. That's Alexa right there. That is her." I went home and I sat with that because in the moment it was a little comical, but then when I went home I was like, oh my God, she was in such visible distress over my mere presence.
But how do you feel about that power that you now have?
Well, for a minute I was like, oh my God, I have a lot of power. And then then a little later, I, empathy and how it sucks. And then they're the ones who want it taken out of schools. They don't want social emotional learning. So
Are you showing empathy for Kit Hart?
I did. It's embarrassing, but I did. For a minute, I was like, oh, she's a human, isn't she? She was in such distress by just seeing me. I don't want someone to panic over just seeing me.
So did you back out then? I mean, now with all this empathy now flowing out of your
Well,
heart?
I wouldn't say flowing. I would say it's there. I don't know about flowing. But I was like, from here on out, am only going to comment on anything she says. If she wears a blouse that's not particularly flattering, I'm not going to comment on that because I think maybe seeing me, hearing my name is very upsetting to her. Then I threw all that empathy out the window because weeks after the March for Kids that didn't happen, I had been sticking to my plan of like, I'm not gonna seek her out. And then unfortunately for Kit Hart, she gave me a reason. And so it was time to re-engage because Kit Hart tweeted that I had been terminated. So one, no. Two, even if I had been,
Why do you care what Kit Hart thinks whether you're terminated or not?
well, because that directly impacts my reputation. She's publicly projecting that perhaps I've been fired from a job.
And so you fired back.
Well, I didn't even fire back at that. What I ended up firing back at was start going off in the comments. And so in one of the comments said that my constant visible shaking is physical evidence of my instability and that I am a danger to children. I have a hand tremor. I can't really curb that one, but am I a dangerous potential killer? Or can I not hold a knife steady? It can't be both.
So how did you resolve the problem?
There were a couple ways I could take this, but I do remember back the times where I was not on Fox News yet, and then I was, and then I went, but that's not what I said. Those evil reporters changed the context. And so now I know that what's much more interesting than leave me alone about my tremor or my tremor's not even that bad. What's more interesting is Moms for Liberty chapter chair mocks teacher with a tremor. That's the better headline. So, I needed a way to get that out there. So what I did was I made a response video where I acknowledged that it's been said that I constantly shake and I'm a danger to children. And it's real serious. And I'm like, I want to talk about this on my terms. The reason that I am shaky and a danger to children, obviously, I am a diamondback rattlesnake. For the rest of that video, and this was smart too on my part, not to hear me out. It's wrong, but it was smart. It was an animation, not of a diamondback rattlesnake. It was an animation of a cobra. That is because I know there are a bunch of smartasses who love to be right, who are going to have to comment. That's not a diamondback. That's a cobra. And that is engagement. And that boosts the video.
You have found engagement farming in a way that I don't think very many people understand.
I'm not even sure I understand.
That you want to be deliberately wrong in order to invite the engagement.
Just a little bit. Something very tiny, but very clear. Like that was clearly a cobra. And it's like a good 20% of the comments. And so now I have, with an effective hook and a solid bit, I have used that to Trojan horse the actual message of, look, this woman is a leader in a political sense, and she is mocking teachers that have tremors. This tweet where she said, I shake and I'm dangerous to kids, it got like 2 replies and like 5 likes. This video of me coming out as a snake has 450,000 views, and I have made $400 from it.
Okay, so several examples now of how you've evolved in your art, how you've evolved in your satire, how you've fought your political battle. So, I feel like you found a methodology to get into a political debate in a very effective way that, a lot of people have not found.
Yeah, I think patience is in there. And I think a really important thing, Moms for Liberty, one of their main methods of like suppression is they go after teachers. Now as a teacher, I can tell you all about the idea that we are supposed to have very private lives. We're not supposed to be public figures, really. We are teachers, and everything else stays on lock. My first year teaching, I didn't realize it, but a video of me doing stand-up comedy had found its way to YouTube. And a kid came up to me and she was like, "Hey, Miss Shudo, how do you feel about cussing?" And I was honest with her. I was like, okay, well, listen, I'm not going to cuss right now, and neither are you, because we're at school. And like, that's not what we do here. That's not what the expectation is. But that's, that's an environmental thing. If when you're somewhere else, you cuss, I'm not worried about it. Like, I'm probably off the clock. And so like, that's somebody else's responsibility, but partially your own. When I'm not here, if I cuss, that's not your business. And so since we're both here right now, though, we're not going to cuss. And then she said, Miss Shudo, I'm so glad you decided to answer honestly, because I found a video of you on YouTube and you were cussing in it. And I was like, oh my God, this is the worst thing that's ever going to happen in my whole career. And then it wasn't. Like I did used to keep everything like on lockdown. And then I started kind of doing like a split thing where I didn't have my government name on any of my public stuff. And I tried to keep my public stuff like pretty like cleaned up. Like I didn't cuss in it. I didn't like do anything super racy. And then anything where I did cuss and I did do that racy, that was kept on a more like unlisted, unlisted status. And then one day despite my efforts and my keeping it clean, and I was on Fox News anyway. The principal of the first school I was at said that I was giving an impression of drunkenness anyway. And I learned it does not matter what I do. Someone is going to make it something it's not. And so now I'm fully public. My government name is on my TikTok, and people warned me not to do that. But you know what? Once I did it, I got my SEO back. When you Google me, Fox News doesn't show in the first page of results. It's all my stuff because my TikTok is big enough now that it takes priority over a national headline. And that's amazing.
It is.
I mean, teachers are given that narrative of like, be private, hide your stuff. It's not worth it so much. I've had coworkers like text me and be like, Alexa, I don't think you can do comedy and teach at the same time. You have to pick one. Like, you're in over your head. And I don't believe that. And I will not believe that. And I think by going public fully, I have taken my power back.
What is your TikTok?
Scooter EDU. And then that's my username. And then you can have like your regular name, and it's just Alexa Shudo.
Alexa Shudo, thank you for explaining your art. Thank you for telling us your story.
Thank you for having me.
Run down street, trying to keep my beat, but they're stomping around from the unified bounds. Running with the times, gotta keep in the lines. Heaven only knows if I go off the road. I've got a mean streak, I can tell. I got one foot in heaven and the other in hell. You can sit and chime those bells, but as for me, I'm out of here.
That's all for this episode of I Hate Politics, where we aim to stem the decline in local news by working with community voices. Don't forget to tune in to our Tuesday morning news analysis. I Hate Politics is produced by me, Sunil Dasgupta, and assistant producer, Adama Gay, with support from the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. I direct UMBC's political science program at the universities at Shady Grove in Montgomery County, where, among other things, we explore and learn about politics, government, and society close to home. Music for this episode comes from the interstate but DMV heavy band Finster. Kate Johnson on vocals and guitar, Doogie Whitaker on guitars, Sky Darwin on bass, and Matt Zelens on the drums. The songs come from their 1997 album, I Wish I Had a Camera. If you want to share your music on the show or know someone else who might want to, please email us at producer@ihbpod.org. I hope you'll subscribe and share the podcast as we bring you stories about politics close to you and to your home. See you next time.
Gotta be my soldier, but got a mean streak. I can tell. I got one foot in heaven and the other in hell.